a 16-year-old boy flat on his back. Blood is pouring from his nose, staining the pristine white of his Indian jersey. Around him, the lions of Pakistan are circling. They think he's done. The stretcher is coming out. His captain is telling him to go home. But in this half-second of agony, a legend is born. He pushes the doctors away. He wipes the blood with his sleeve. And he says two words that would change cricket forever. "Main Khelega." This is the story of how a child became a god. The winter of 1989 was unlike any other in the history of Indian cricket. Across the border, the political atmosphere was cold, but on the cricket field, it was boiling. The Indian team didn't just cross a geographic line. They stepped into a colosseum where survival was the only goal. Waiting for them was a pace attack that experts today still call the greatest ever assembled. There was Imran Khan, the charismatic leader, Wasim Akram, the Sultan of Swing, and a young, terrifyingly fast Waqar Younis. They weren't just looking for wickets. They were looking to intimidate. And amidst these giants of the game stood a 16-year-old child. At 5 feet 5 inches, the mop of curly hair and a voice that hadn't even broken yet, Sachin Tendulkar looked completely out of place. The Karachi crowds didn't see a prodigy. They saw a victim. They held up signs mocking his age, yelling for him to go back to his mother. They called it a slaughterhouse for a reason. Little did they know, they weren't watching a lamb being led to the cull. They were witnessing the first few seconds of a legend that would rule the world for 24 years. 15th November 1989, Karachi. The day a dream met a brutal reality. The air was heavy with the scent of freshly cut grass and the sharp, stinging insults of the Pakistani fielders. Javed Miadad, the master of mind games, was chirping behind the stumps, telling the kid to quit while he was still in one piece. Sachin's debut was not a fairy tale. He scored just 15 runs before a searing in swinging Yorker from Waqar Younis shattered his stumps. He didn't even see the ball. The sound of the timber flying was the only thing he heard over the roar of the crowd. That night, the glory of playing for India felt like a heavy burden. Sachin locked himself in his hotel room and let the tears flow. He felt small. He felt outclassed. He truly believed his career was over after one single inning. But as the moon rose over Karachi, something shifted inside him. He stood up, wiped his eyes, and picked up his bat. He stood in front of the mirror for hours, shadow practicing every mistake he had made. He wasn't a child anymore. He had been baptized in fire, and he was ready for more. The Test series was a grind of survival. But when the tour reached Peshawar for an exhibition match, the shackles finally came off. The rain had shortened the game to a 20-over thriller, and the crowd was hungry for entertainment. When Sachin Tendulkar walked out to the middle, the legendary Abdul Qadir decided to test the youngsters' nerves. Qadir was the undisputed king of leg spin, a master of deception. He walked up to the 16-year-old and tossed a challenge that would go down in history. "Why hit the kids? Try hitting me." It was a moment that could have intimidated any veteran. But Sachin was no longer the crying boy from Karachi. He took his stance, eyes cold and calculating. The first ball from Kadir looped high in the air, and Sachin sent it screaming over long on for 6. Kadir smiled, thinking it was a fluke. But then came the over that shook Pakistan. 6. Dot. 6. 6. 6. 28 runs in a single over. The crowd went from mocking to absolute madness. In that half hour, the world realized that this wasn't just a survivor. This was a hunter. The boy from Mumbai had arrived, and he was about to change the game forever. Then came the final test in Sialkot. The pitch was a green graveyard, a fast bowler's paradise. India was reeling at 38 for 4, and the series was on the line. Waqar Younis was bowling with frightening venom. He delivered a short, rising bouncer that aimed straight for Sachin's head. There was no time to duck. The ball smashed into the bridge of Sachin's nose. The sound was sickening. Within seconds, blood was gushing out, staining his white jersey a deep, haunting red. The physio ran out with a stretcher. The world held its breath, thinking the boy was finished. But in that moment of extreme pain, Sachin did the unthinkable. He pushed the medical staff away. He wiped the blood with his sleeve, leaving a red smear across his face. He looked the bowler in the eye and uttered the words, "मैं खेलेगा. मैं खेलेगा. I will play." The very next ball, he smashed Waqar for a boundary. He didn't just save the match. He saved the spirit of a billion people. Sachin Tendulkar didn't score a century on that tour. In fact, his numbers were modest by the legendary standards he would later set. But the world of cricket had seen something much more valuable than 100 runs. They had seen the birth of a soul that could not be broken. When he left Pakistan, he was no longer a kid or a victim. He had become the heartbeat of an entire nation. He proved that greatness isn't measured by age, but by the ability to stand your ground when your body is screaming to quit. For the next 24 years, he would carry the hopes of a billion people on those small shoulders. He would break every record in the book, but nothing would ever match the raw, bloody courage shown in Sialkot. That tour was the foundation of the temple we now call the god of cricket. It wasn't just about bat and ball. It was about a boy who refused to walk away. Because of that one series, every Indian child believed they could conquer the world. The legend was born, and the game of cricket was changed forever.